Joe Biden and Barack Obama's personal conversation was exposed this week after a forensic lip reader commissioned by the New York Post deciphered the off-mic moment, and all indications show it's not good news for Kamala Harris. Barack Obama and Joe Biden conversed at the memorial service of Ethel Kennedy in Washington, with the lip reader revealing Joe Biden said, "She is not as strong as me," with Obama replying in agreement, "I know, that's true." Biden then seemed to remain positive, saying, "Yes, we'll get it in time," according to the forensic lip reader. The conversation was translated for the New York Post by Jeremy Freeman, a London-based forensic lip reader who has served as a University College London certified expert witness for journalists, the police, and litigants. Freeman went on to say that the conversation between Biden and Obama was very supportive, and that he detected no tension between the pair. Kamala Harris was not mentioned in the interaction by name, but the Post article claims it's unclear whom else the conversation could have pertained. Commentators on social media blew up following the interaction, with conservative Charlie Kirk saying, "This is a stunning revelation that even two Democrat presidents know Kamala Harris is weak, historically awful candidate." He went on to say, "Too late to switch horses. Perhaps they think that they have time to clean up the mess that's her campaign. The question is, what are they planning?" This commentator agreed, saying, "It's over, folks. Kamala is cooked." The stunning interaction comes as Kamala Harris fumbled her train wreck interview with Fox News, reveals Sky News host Rita Panahi.
Today was a bad day for the Kamala Harris campaign. Her interview on Fox News was a train wreck, a hot mess on a number of levels. In Brett Baier, she faced a real interviewer who asked pertinent questions about the border, inflation, her record, and she floundered. She was evasive, she was incoherent, she was sometimes nonsensical. Whoever in her team thought she was ready for a real interview should be sacked immediately.
Turning Point Action spokesperson Caitlin Sinclair doubles down on this, saying the interview ruined her entire campaign.
Well, whoever encouraged Kamala Harris to do an interview with Fox News host Brett Baier, I want to personally send a thank you note to whoever that staffer was, because ultimately this interview has just ruined her entire campaign. I think every American should watch this interview with Kamala Harris and Brett Baier, and it will really show she cracked at the first non-softball interview that was in front of her. And these were not got you questions, right? If every American watches this interview, Brett Baier was not trying to catch her in a I got you moment. These were policy questions. These were agenda questions. These were questions about the last 3.5 years of her administration questions. And she completely failed to answer any of them.
And Sky News host Paul Murray revealed the extreme lengths the Harris camp went to limit her exposure, which only ended up in a worse outcome for the presidential hopeful.
So first it was Oprah Winfrey for Kamala Harris to tell us why she should be the next president of the United States. Of course, this was really a campaign event and was more of an advertorial. Then, of course, there was The View, where she got the standing ovation, yet still couldn't answer a question about what was different about the next 4 years than the last 4 years. Well, as you know, today she was on Fox News, one and only time she'll turn up there, and she's doing so because she is behind in the polls. Now, I watched this thing live. I gave reaction to it live with Laura Jays. I was delighted to be on her program earlier today. And I've watched it a couple of times since, because my first sense was this strangely kind of aggro tone at the very start of it from both the person asking the questions, who I thought did an excellent job, and of course Kamala Harris, who was there for the fight in order to get all of the lefties to go, "Yay, you took on Fox News." Well, this was supposed to be a 30-minute interview. It was supposed to start at 5 p.m. It was supposed to conclude at 5:30. So the production team at Fox News would be able to turn it around and play it on the show that Brett Baier hosts at 6 p.m. in the United States each and every night. But guess what? She turned up late, and they tried to shrink the amount of time, which might explain why he went in so hard so early.
Joe Biden's criticism of Kamala Harris doesn't come as a huge surprise, as there has been widespread talk of a rift between the pair in recent times, says Sky News host James Morrow.
All that serious stuff. Joe Biden, yeah, remember him? He's the guy who's still nominally president of the United States, but got rudely pushed off the ballot after Democrat bigwigs looked at the polls and saw disaster coming. Well, guess what? He's not going quietly. And in fact, it seems like he's got some scores to settle. He's doing everything he can to undermine Kamala Harris's campaign. Now, let's set this up here. Last weekend, there was this moment when Biden showed up in the White House press room and declared that Kamala Harris, oh, what a help he was here, has been with him every step of the way the past 4 years, setting the agenda, passing laws. Have a look.
I'm in constant contact with her. She's aware we're singing from the same song sheet. She helped pass all the laws that are being employed now. She was a major player in everything we've done, including passage of legislation which we were told we could never pass. And so she's been, and her staff is interlocked with mine in terms of all the things we're doing.
Right under the bus with that one. And if Harris thought she could come in after 4 years as VP, remaining unburdened by what has been, well, guess what? She's got another thing coming. Because instead, President Biden has spent much of the past week basically undercutting Harris at every turn. Now, someone